It's September 1st, 2017.
This is Nerd Bourbon episode 13. I'm Seth Sturgill.
And I'm Todd Sturgill. Oh, I'm so fucking happy you didn't do that Duckmaster bullshit. I was kind of expecting it, and I was a little disappointed, but then also happy at the same time.
You know, every time I'd say... The reason I started switching it up a little bit is because every time I say I'm Seth Sturgill, I feel like I'm like a celebrity doing a PSA. Like I'm Seth Sturgill. And this is what I think about fucking gun violence.
That's good shit.
Hi, I'm Robert Downey Jr., and I'm not Downey Jr. with gun violence.
Oh, no.
Just dumb bullshit like that. Let's get some shit out of the way. Let's get some housekeeping out of the way first, actually. So I've posted about this on social media a whole bunch, but if you haven't seen it, we are finally on iTunes. After a stupid amount of struggle, we are finally fucking on iTunes. So subscribe to us there, rate us there, tell your friends. It brings our current availability to SoundCloud, YouTube, Google Play, and iTunes. So if your podcast service of choice is not on that list, let me know, because I want to take that land. As a reminder, I'm going to be in Orlando next week on vacation. That doesn't mean you're going to miss an episode. We're still going to do an episode. We've got an evergreen episode hot and ready for you guys to consume while I'm gone. So you're not going to miss your weekly dose of Nerd Bourbon. And finally, since this is the first episode of September, September's book club book is going to be Masters of Doom: How Two Guys Created an Empire and Transformed Pop Culture by David Kushner. I've been recommended that book for years now, and I'm excited to read it. So, and I recommended it to Todd, and he's gonna pick it up and stuff. So we're gonna read that next month, and I'm gonna leave links in the description for you to pick up your own copy if you want to and read along with us. And so yeah, tune in for September's episode of Book Club. That's September 29th's episode to hear us discuss it. But yeah, so other than that, dude, that gets our housekeeping out of the way. What have you been up to this week?
I'm gonna just go ahead and get this out of the way. So you recommended me the MeUndies.
Yes.
And I was hesitant to actually buy it because it's like $30.
It's expensive. I think a pair is anywhere between $20 and $24, not including shipping.
With shipping it ends up being like $30. But I'm gonna be completely honest. It's worth every dollar.
See, I am so like concerned about my personal comfort all the time. Like anything I can do to make myself more comfortable is worth money to me. So like, I buy expensive shirts from this independent shirt company that I like. They use a very expensive but very comfortable material. And MeUndies is no different. I am totally willing to pay, $24 or whatever for a very comfortable pair of underwear. You can attest to how comfortable they are now because you actually received your pair a couple of days ago.
And I worked on them last night. And I'm going to be completely honest. It's a life-changing experience. And I ended up like...
I told you, bro.
I ended up dropping $100.
Well, I told you, bro. That's exactly what I do.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? I got to at least get a pair for every day of the week.
That's what I do.
So yeah, I ended up buying a 6-pack.
Yeah. No, totally. It's like the days, because for a little while there, I had 2 pairs of boxer briefs that were not MeUndies, and I hated the days that I would have to wear those.
Yeah, you were telling me that, and that's honestly how I feel right now. Just wearing like a pair of my old boxers, I'm just like, oh no.
I hated it. I'm like, this feels like I think I told you, I was like, this feels like I'm wearing a fucking burlap sack. It's like all scratchy, because when you're wearing MeUndies, you feel like you're wearing nothing. It is that comfortable. And I know this sounds like a fucking paid sponsorship or something. It isn't. I wish it was.
Exactly. I was about to say that.
MeUndies, if you're listening, hit me up. I will do ads on this podcast for MeUndies so fast, because it's like a product I actually believe in, and actually like literally recommended to Todd because it's that good. Like I love MeUndies. It's so fucking good. So I'm glad you're enjoying them. I'm glad I did not lead you astray. I wanted to bring this up. So this probably confused you when you saw it in the show notes. Kentucky Fried Chicken VR.
Yeah, I was wondering what the hell that was.
So this is so fucking weird. And you can watch this on YouTube. So Kentucky Fried Chicken has been doing this weird like online presence where they have a string of like weirdly like good merchandise. Like it's just stupid merchandise that's good. And one of the things that they've made is this short VR game. And it's like I watched a playthrough of it on YouTube, and it's like fucking crazy good. Like the VR game is like, it looks like something that could have been made by like Valve.
All right then.
Like it looks like a a weird little like Portal-esque thing. Like basically the character your character is a KFC employee, and you are being trained how to cook KFC's chicken. And the Colonel is like over the intercom. The Colonel basically is GLaDOS. Man, it's really cool. Like I don't want to spoil too much of it for you. You should just go and watch it. It's literally, the game I guess is, like 10 to 15 minutes long, but it's like funny and like well animated, and it actually makes a really smart kind of design decision where in order to move forward, because that's forever the issue when designing a VR game, is like you never know how to get the player to move, without fucking them up, like without giving them vertigo or something like that. Mm-hmm. So they're always trying to figure out movement in VR games. And the way the KFC game solves it, it's such a weird sentence to fucking say. The way the KFC VR game solves that is there's a robot arm, and you kind of like take its hand, and it like pulls you forward.
Okay.
And I was like, that's actually kind of a really smart way to solve the VR movement problem. And I don't know, it's like super impressive, and like their whole swath of merchandise is really impressive. And I was just like, god damn, what the hell, KFC? Like, I literally want to look in the credits of that game and be like, who made this? It's so high quality. This is a Kentucky Fried Chicken VR experience, and it is like more high quality than 99% of the other VR experiences I've seen. I'm telling you, it has like the feeling of like a Valve quality game. It's insane.
I'm definitely gonna have to check that out.
It looks like, I think this is just going around on Twitter a few days ago, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, check that out. I'll try to leave a link in the description, because man, it needs to be seen. Other than that, we've both been playing Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. I think you finished it, right?
Yeah, I definitely missed a lot of shit in my playthrough, but I kind of did like a quick run through just to get the experience.
I can't do that. I can't. It's not in my bones.
I know it isn't, but hey, it's more Uncharted. It's fantastic. So
I actually am really, 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 really liking it.
Oh, dude, I love it. Yeah.
I'm probably I don't know, 3 or 4 hours in at this point. I am going through and making sure I got all the collectibles and all that stuff, because I do want to platinum it.
Yeah, so you're gonna be in that little open world level.
That's where I'm at right now. Yeah, the Western Ghats, and that's actually kind of what I wanted to talk about it specifically. Okay. Because I actually really, really like the Western Ghats. Mm-hmm. It's a really nice little mini open world experience. Like they sort of had that in Uncharted 4
with Madagascar.
Yeah, the whole Madagascar chapter is a little bit like that, but this is expanded in a way. Like, there's actually collectibles that are exclusive to the Western Ghats. Mm-hmm. There's kind of a mini, almost side quest to do in the Western Ghats.
And that's exactly one of the things I've missed.
Oh, well, here's the cool thing is what they finally did is the side quest I'm referring to, you have to find these, like, Hoysala tokens in the world. There's, like, 11 of them. Mm-hmm. And getting them is interesting. Some of them are pretty easy. Some of them require, like, some platforming challenges or some puzzle-solving challenges. Once you get all 11 of them, you go to this, like, monkey fortress, for lack of a better word, and you can insert them all into this map, and you actually unlock something called the Queen's Ruby Bracelet. And what that does, and I don't know why Uncharted has never done this before, the light bar on the DualShock lights up and the controller vibrates whenever you're near another collectible.
Damn. That's a good
So if you're not the type of person that wants to use a guide, you don't need to. I thought that was a really nice little addition.
Yeah, that's actually pretty legit. I didn't even know about that. So
yeah, that's your kind of reward for finding all the Hoysala tokens. So that's cool. I like that they did that. And I also, the gameplay of The Lost Legacy, and this was true about Uncharted 4's Madagascar section as well, it almost feels like you're playing fucking like Metal Gear Solid 5 a little bit.
Okay.
You're just in this big open space with a lot of like combat options, a lot of stealth options, and you're just the player's just kind of able to do whatever they want in these combat scenarios, and I kind of love it. It's kind of insane, and like the amount of weapons that are available to you in the Lost Legacy is greatly increased from Uncharted 4 just already. I think it's honestly just as, if not more fun, playing as Chloe versus Drake. Because at least Chloe knows she's a piece of shit. At least Chloe knows she's like a piece of shit thief murderer, you know? Like, it's kind of fun to just revel in that in Uncharted.
Yeah.
So far, I'm sure they're gonna... I'm not done with it yet. Not at all. I do want to finish it before I go on vacation. Because when I come back, I'm basically picking up Destiny 2 immediately. It's going to already be out by the time I come back, and we'll probably have thoughts on that when I get back. One of my only complaints so far is I feel like Nadine is not getting enough yet. I'm sure they're gonna expand on it a little.
I'll say this: I ended up really enjoying the dynamic between the two of them.
I like their dynamic. I just feel like Nadine doesn't really have any like, they hint at this stuff with like Chloe's dad and stuff like that. But Nadine hasn't really had any of that yet. But we'll see. And I feel like I'm already detecting sort of a fatherhood theme, a father relationship theme, because even Ganesh, the central figure of the kind of treasure being Ganesh's tusk, has sort of a father, has sort of a relationship with his father kind of vibe to the Ganesh story.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm already kind of picking up in terms of like where the story is going. It's really good though. I'm really, really enjoying it. I secured an SNES Classic just in case anybody was giving a shit about that. I did get my hands on an SNES Classic so I can finally sleep comfortably at night.
You're fucking trash.
My boy hooked me up. A buddy of mine that is a store manager at GameStop. The day that they were going live, and I saw them on Twitter just going live and just selling out in fucking seconds. Just like, I would see some of the accounts that I follow on Twitter, oh, it's up at Target, go, go, go. And literally 3 minutes later, and it's gone. And I'm just watching them drop like flies before me on my Twitter. Like, it was ridiculous. And when I saw that GameStop was taking in-store pre-orders, I immediately called my friend up and I was like, hey dude, like, is there any way you can transfer some of the money I have on something else over to the SNES Classic? And he's like, oh yeah, totally. Let me hook this up for you. So he just did it over the phone, and I have an SNES Classic secured and locked down, and I could not be happier. I'm so stoked. And that was a really good, that was a solid that he gave me. I'm not gonna say his name, but if he's listening, he knows that I love him. So he's hooked me up a few times in the past, just done me favors like that. Anyway, last thing I want to mention before we move on to our topics, I played a little bit of the Call of Duty World War II private beta, and I was telling you this. I wasn't super duper impressed by it. It feels like when you asked me how it was, I think I was just like, it's a wannabe Battlefield 1. Mm-hmm. That's just sort of how it feels to me. I'm not trying to throw any shade at it or anything, but it just feels like Call of Duty's approximation of Battlefield 1, right down to the bayonet charge mechanic, and it just feels a little bit like a little too Me Too for me. The World War II vibe is nice, and it's cool to play with World War II weapons and stuff, but like it feels a little bit like Call of Duty is just saying Me Too, and we can do the old war shooter, as well as Battlefield, and it has a totally different vibe. It doesn't look or sound as good as Battlefield because, Call of Duty is not Battlefield. Is it smooth? Yes. Does it run at that rock solid 60 frames per second that Call of Duty is known for? Yes, totally. It's not, I don't know, like the maps are kind of bland, at least the ones that were in the beta. I thought it's a lot more vibrant than I figured it would be. I thought they would kind of go for a more grimdark kind of thing, but the maps are actually shockingly colorful. But they're just kind of boring otherwise. It's kind of just flat Call of Duty maps. You just kind of run around, you see a dude, and you shoot a dude. There's no real strategy to it. It is what it is, and I think it's going to be totally fine, but there's nothing that screams like special about it to me. Mm-hmm. which is a bummer, I guess. But it's just a beta. They could change things and add things, and maybe the full game has a little more meat on its bones. But in the beta, I just wasn't super duper impressed by it.
Before we get actually into the topics, I do want to mention I may or may not be doing a solo shots of a game that I'll be playing pretty soon, Absolver.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were mentioning that to me.
Yeah, it's either going to be I'm either going to do a solo shots or I'm going to just sit there and probably wait until what episode now? Episode.
That would be 15, I think.
Yeah, 15. I think.
Yeah.
Episode 15 at that point. I might just talk about it a little bit when what we've been doing, but yeah.
If you want to do solo shots, that'd be cool. I mean, if not, it's not a big deal.
I am debating on it. I don't know. We'll see. If it. I've been interested in the game for a while now. And
yeah.
I've liked what I've seen. So.
Yeah, I haven't seen much about it. I think I've seen like a trailer or something like that. But looks, I know you were interested in it. I think you kept mentioning it. Like we were talking one day, and you're just like, oh, Absolver. 30 minutes would go by. Absolver. I was like, bro, you should just go ahead and buy it. It's what, $30?
Yeah.
I was like, that's a pretty low price to pay for something that you seem to be that interested in. So you should just pre-order it. And you're like, yeah, fuck it, I'm pre-ordering it. So yeah, no, that'd be cool if you did solo shots. It's not easy to do. Take it from me. I
feel like it's gonna be one of those things where like I'm gonna have to probably do something similar to what you did and kind of like write out a script for myself.
I quite literally just wrote a Tacoma review.
Yeah.
I guess it's a little peek behind the curtain. I wrote a Tacoma review.
And just read it. Essentially.
Yeah. And but it's a bit of a different vibe when you're doing it alone and you're trying to read a review and make it sound like you aren't reading a script. Make it sound like you're not just like, Tacoma's a really good video game.
Yeah, you need to put emphasis on certain things and all that.
You got to make it sound a little more natural, know, and so it's kind of annoying to do a solo shots, but I think it turned out well. And actually, the Tacoma shots, I'm not trying to like oversell it or anything, but it performed like surprisingly well on YouTube. Like that solo shots that I did about Tacoma is actually one of our most liked videos.
Oh, is it?
So yeah, I think it has like 5 or 6 likes or something like that.
Oh shit! So we do low.
So compared to some of our others, I think the most we have, I think the Fartoholics Anonymous, which I think is episode 4. That one has like 8 or 9 likes. So, but other than that, I think Tacoma's the second most liked video on YouTube. So it's only a 6-minute video, but it did pretty well. So if you're gonna do it, that'd be great. If not, no big deal.
All right.
Anyway, let's get into our topics. Do you want to go first? You want me to go first? What are we doing?
I'm gonna go ahead and take this.
Okay.
So, I'm assuming you heard about this through Anastasia.
I actually saw your mom post on Facebook about it.
Okay. So, a while back, my sister was like, there was like the fire ramen challenge going on, like for on the internet for a while.
Yeah.
And she ended up buying the ramen that was used in that, and she asked me probably like 2 weeks ago about like, hey, if I order it, are you gonna do it with me? I'm like, shit, sure, why not?
Because you're a fiend for that spicy food.
I am a fiend for it, but not in this situation. Let me be real with you. I'm very particular with how spice is given to me, and do not give it to me as I wake up. I don't like spice like that when I first wake up. That shit kills me. So I'm gonna be real. I did not handle it very well.
Prepare your body in various ways.
Mm-hmm. I did not handle this shit very well. It's not even that hot. It's like only like 8,800 Scoville.
Right.
But I'm gonna be real. I had it worse than my sister because she didn't do any broth. Right.
Oh, she did no broth.
No broth.
Oh fuck! You got to get some of that. Bro. You got to get some of that lava broth.
Bro, that's what I had. I had pure lava broth. And she's like, "You got to finish it, or you didn't do the challenge." And I'm like,
"How the fuck is she gonna say that when she didn't get any of the lava broth?"
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's skip that shit.
That's bullshit.
I've had a lot of hot shit in my life,
and
I handle it very well if under certain the proper circumstances.
Right.
Like, I'll fucking kill some like Carolina Reaper jerky. I love that shit. Shit's delicious.
Yeah.
Now, Like hot wings, I'll kill it. But it's always when I've been up, I'm like, my body's ready.
Right.
So it's similar to my first experience with Indian food. I woke up, and within like 2 minutes, I was eating this Indian food. And I hated it.
I think I asked you recently. I think I was like making some curry for dinner or something like that, and I was like, "What do you feel about Indian food?" You're like, "Hate it."
Nah,
he's like, "Why?" It's like I just woke up.
That's some real shit. That's kind of how it is. It's like I love spice, but then I hate it. I hate it as well. The fucking ramen, man. Here's the deal. That shit actually tastes good as hell, though.
Yeah, flavor-wise, it's good.
Yes, flavor-wise, it's got like the sweetness to it, and it was like flavor-wise, it was fantastic. It just like kicked you in your fucking ass. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna describe it to you right now. My entire tongue was gone, and I'm gonna be real. I was tearing up. Like I was legit having tears going down my face.
Damn.
It cleared my sinuses.
That's always what I like about eating something spicy.
I think so. My mother was actually, I guess, like Snapchatting like Anastasia, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. She always does. My girlfriend, she always says like, "Oh, my BFF Snapchatted me."
Oh Lord. And so there was at one point they're like, so how? My mom was like, how's it going? And I'm just like, I got some boogers. I got some boogies, as I said. And I guess Anastasia's like, I guess I can't hang, apparently.
She could. She will. I'm probably going to wind up buying it for her. Because my girlfriend's a huge fiend for spicy food, too.
Oh, I know.
She loves spicy food.
No, I love it, too. I'm telling you right now, if I ate that shit right now, I'd probably be fine.
Yeah.
It's just, and it killed me, man. Like, and the thing is, like, I had to go to work as well.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just like, it died, thankfully, by the time I got to work. And,
oh, wait, so like it lingered all that time?
It lingered a little bit.
Wow.
It lingered a little bit. It lingered, like, it was like, it probably lingered for, like, by the time I got to work, it was, like, fine. But it lingered for, like, maybe, like, 15 minutes, maybe 15, 20 minutes.
So let me ask you this. After drinking from the bowl of lava broth, how was the lava poop?
You know what? Here's the deal. This is a little too much information, but that shit don't faze me. Come on.
Well, I know it doesn't faze you because you have this ruined war zone of an asshole.
Terrible.
I know that it doesn't bother you.
Nah, honestly,
normal people would probably bother though.
It would, shit, I don't know. I got a steel trap when it comes to that. That shit don't bother me. But like going in, it was actually worse. It was just like, I'm telling you, I was like, I was probably like, my face was probably redder than normal. Like my already rosy red cheeks, it was probably already in my entire face basically. And it was just, I was tearing up. I had like snot coming out of my nose. It was bad, dude. And I'm telling you, it was all because, I'm telling you, I woke up at like 7:45 p.m. And she's like, "You ready?" And I'm like, "I guess." Sat down, and it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
The thing about my girlfriend, so like she'll seek out that spicy shit too. Like we'll go to B-Dubs and she wants the blazing hot wings, which are now made with Carolina Reaper sauce.
Shit, probably delicious.
She loves it. But it is so spicy that, like, she's literally, like you were saying, red face, sweating, tears coming down her face by the end of it. It's kind of a double-edged sword because, like, she's getting a little bit older now. She's not old. Neither of us are old, but she's getting a little bit older. And after a lifetime of eating spicy food, it's starting to catch up with her.
Who the hell are you telling? I know that life, dude. You like indigestion, heartburn. That's life now. She's got
heartburn all the time. She actually has like developed almost acid reflux from it. Mm-hmm. So like if she eats something that has a little too much, like say she eats something spicy and then like she's trying to eat some like tomato sauce or something like that, she's almost always gonna puke that up. I mean, it's bad.
That's terrible.
And I told her, I was like, it's because of all this spicy food. You got to chill out. You know. I'm sorry. I know it sucks. Because she's like, spicy food is what I live for. And I'm like, I know it is, but like your health is becoming a concern because of it. A man was not meant to eat things this spicy. When you bite into a pepper, right? You bite into a fucking Carolina Reaper. The name should fucking give it away. It's called a Reaper, bro. You're gonna die.
That's what we want. All right. Let me tell you right now. You remember that was one of my favorite images. that I think I found. It was either you sent it to me or I found it. It was like this like weird ass like fucking was it Rugrats like Naruto crossover thing, and it's like when you have that one friend that eats a lot of spicy food. It's like, why do you do this? To test my limits.
Yeah, it's bad, dude. Like you bite into a fucking Carolina Reaper, your body is telling you shouldn't be doing this. This is a dangerous thing to eat. That's your body's response.
I didn't even tell you this. So afterwards, I'm like, I usually take like 4 ibuprofens before work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be real with you. My body didn't trust anything anymore. I was legit. I tried to take my ibuprofen. It's like, no, bitch, no.
Like you couldn't get it down.
I couldn't get it down, and because it's just like my body couldn't. Like it wasn't trusting anything I was trying to put in.
See, this should be a fucking sign for you idiots.
Fuck
you idiots gotta stop eating so much spicy food. You're gonna wind up in the hospital.
Shit, yeah, save me from going to work.
I guess that's some real shit. So it's a little bit depressing though, because she gets legit sad whenever I have to talk to her about spicy food and how she needs to kind of chill out on it, because she's gonna the older you get, dude. Take it from me. The older you get, the more you pay the price for all of your terrible life decisions up until that point.
That's the thing. I've like throughout the years, I've definitely calmed down. Like I used to be rocking like the Carolina Reaper like jerky all the time. I love that shit, dude. But like nowadays, I don't really like. I don't know. I just fuck with some Louisiana hot sauce. That's all I need. I don't care. I'm good.
You guys get Louisiana hot sauce up there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the Louisiana style like brand hot sauce.
Literally the Louisiana brand hot sauce. Yeah.
I love that shit.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's our go-to hot sauce down here. It's all over the place down here. So.
I actually recently so I've been trying to find something to. I'm going off tangent. I don't really care though.
That's fine.
So I've been trying to find something to dip my pizza rolls in for a while.
Okay.
I know some people do ranch.
Fuck that. That's so gross to me.
But here's my deal. Don't use just ranch. I made a little dip for myself. It's actually on the side of the Louisiana style, the Louisiana packaging, and it's a little bit of that, a little bit of ranch. Stir that shit up. It works.
So it's essentially just like the hot wing ranch combo thing.
Yeah, and it works out.
I've never been a fan of that. I've never been a fan of the buffalo wing ranch kind of thing.
I don't know. Normally I'm like about it, but it's just like I've been wanting something to dip my my pizza rolls in.
Yeah,
I like
fair enough.
Dip. Yeah.
I don't like to dip my pizza rolls. I like to just eat them straight.
I respect that.
One thing I used to do when I was younger, I don't really do it anymore, but I would always salt the top of them.
I respect that.
I would always take some salt and put it over the top, and every now and then you might catch me doing that, or even pepper. Like I would literally salt and pepper the pizza rolls, but I wouldn't like to dip them. I don't know. I might try that. I might try dipping them in something one of these days. I don't know about the ranch thing. I've never liked. I like ranch fine. I like ranch flavoring, but ranch dressing, I'm not crazy about it. I'll take an Italian vinaigrette over ranch any day of the week.
Any day of the week. I feel you on that. Speaking of pizza rolls, I did tell you about that mac and cheese shit, right?
Yeah. That was the deal with that.
Wasn't bad.
Fair enough.
Here's the deal.
Sounds gross.
Imagine you ever had like a deep fried like mac and cheese?
Yeah, like fair food basically.
It's similar to that, but it's passable. I'm never gonna buy it again, but it was worth trying.
I might try it if I see it just to say that I hate myself.
I mean, I definitely do. So when I see shit like that, I'm just like, kill me a little quicker.
Well, my topic this week, something that came out just a couple of days ago at the time of this recording. So my topic is whatever happened to Half-Life 3 or Half-Life 2 Episode 3, whatever you want to call it.
Well, before you get into this, I'm going to tell you what happened. It's never going to happen.
I don't know. I'm not sure either, but let's get into this. So a couple of days ago at the time of this recording, Mark Laidlaw, who is the writer of the Half-Life series proper, he's kind of been the head writer on the entire series. He made a post on his personal blog called Epistle 3 or Epistle 3 or however you pronounce it. Epistle basically means letter, and it's formatted like a letter. And it is, from what it seems like, he wrote it like a fan fiction. He wrote it with like gender swapped and differently named characters, but it's very obvious. It's like Gordy Fremont, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like
Lord.
it's very on the nose, like he knew exactly what he was doing. And it seems like he was revealing his original plot details for his work on Half-Life 2 Episode 3. And I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I did just want to talk about it. And it kind of, because and you know this, I straight up had a completely different topic for this week, and now it's moved to episode 16 because I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to strike this iron while it's still hot because the episode 3 thing, I mean, it kind of gave me some weird closure to read this. Mm-hmm. And it's given a lot of people some closure about the Half-Life 3 thing and whatever ended up happening to it. It kind of has me feeling this sense of melancholy. I'm just man, it almost feels like the final nail in the coffin reading this. And I want to just read this last paragraph here because it's got, he goes into the plot details, and like I said, I don't want to go into them. He has some cool ideas. I'm not crazy about the way it ends, but he has some really cool ideas in here that would have been amazing to see. And who knows what form Episode 3 is in right now. Who fucking knows? Personally, I feel like that game is going to come out one day. Just because I feel like Valve, and I'll get into this a little bit later, but even though I don't feel like Valve needs to make another single-player game ever again, I feel like Valve has a little too much respect for their fans to not finish out that story.
Yeah.
After the way that Episode 2 ends. Anyway, I want to read this final paragraph here because the first and final paragraph of this letter, this fan fiction Half-Life 3 letter, seemed to be kind of meta a little bit. Seemed to be him kind of almost talking about his feelings on the series in general. So the final paragraph here is, "And here we are. I spoke of my return to this shore. It has been a circuitous path to lands I once knew, and surprising to see how much the terrain has changed. Enough time has passed that few remember me, or what I was saying when we last spoke, or what precisely we hoped to accomplish. At this point, the resistance will have failed or succeeded, no thanks to me. Old friends have been silenced or fallen by the wayside. I no longer know or recognize most members of the research team, though I believe the spirit of rebellion still persists. I expect you to know better than I the appropriate course of action, and I leave you to it. Expect no further correspondence from me regarding these matters. This is my final epistle. Yours in infinite finality, Gertrude Fremont, Ph.D." So, and reading that just sort of gave me the sense of damn, just sort of because you can sort of read between the lines here, and he's clearly talking about the vibe at Valve before he left earlier this year.
Yeah.
And it's sort of the way that Valve shifted focus away from single-player games. Because the last single-player game Valve's made was Portal 2 in 2011.
Has it really been that long?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Portal 2 in 2011 was the last single-player Valve game. It's been 10 years at this point. The Orange Box was when we were introduced to Episode 2, and that fucking crazy cliffhanger at the end of Episode 2. It's been 10 years since we've had any sort of closure at all to Episode 3. Until now, really. And who knows what form Episode 3 has taken, but Mark Laidlaw in this post seems to have sort of at least given us what his vision for Episode 3 was. And it's cool. It's cool to read. You should go and read it if you care about Half-Life, but it has me just kind of thinking about the series in general and the way I feel about it and the sort of melancholy I feel about Episode 3's development. And like I said, even though I feel like it is going to happen one day, it almost makes me wonder, does it even matter anymore? When it comes out, and I do think it's going to come out, I do want to say I feel like Episode 3 is going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. I feel like Valve respects their fans and respects their sort of pedigree a little too much to just let it die where it is. But man, it's just got me feeling bummed out. I'm just kind of damn, because Half-Life is such an amazing and influential series. If I actually have been fucking around. I re-downloaded Half-Life 1 and 2, and I just kind of dipped into them for a few minutes just to sort of remind myself why I love it. Mm-hmm. Just the atmosphere of the series and the gameplay and the story. It's such a smart series, and it's a bummer, It really is a bummer to see it go that way and to see Valve go that way because, you know, you look at Valve and their big focus now is they have Steam. Steam is, bar none, the biggest, most successful, most important distributor of digital video games.
Honestly,
period.
I think Origin's a little better now.
It's not even a contest. Like Steam
true.
is king when it comes to digital distribution of video games.
Mm-hmm.
Period. So like, Valve literally is set for life on Steam alone, and that's great and everything. But like, Valve has also made some of the best games of all time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to give spoilers for the next episode, which we recorded a while ago. Spoilers, but I have a Valve game on there, and I very nearly had 2 Valve games on there. And it's a bummer to think that these people don't seem to have a huge interest in making single-player games anymore because they're so fucking good. Half-Life is fucking amazing, and Portal is fucking amazing, and even Left 4 Dead is fucking good. And I'm just like, I don't want this for Valve, you know what I mean? Like, as a Valve fan, I don't want them to be comfortable with just making, just handling Steam and handling Dota and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, they release Counter-Strike Go and stuff like that, and that's fine, I guess. And they've, Dota's their big thing right now. But, like, whatever happened to the good, meaty, single-player Valve game? Whatever happened to the Half-Life and the Portals of the world, And I think there's, like, a big hole in a lot of people's hearts that want that. And it's a bummer that it seems like we're not going to get it, at least not anytime soon. And this letter both brought a lot of closure to that, because now I'm kind of like, okay, well, this was Mark Laidlaw's vision for Half-Life 3 anyway. It's kind of nice to see where he would have taken it, if nothing else. But it's also got me feeling just kind of like, I guess that's it,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a fucking bummer. How do you feel about the Half-Life series? Have you played them?
Yeah. Again, it's been a long time, like
10 years.
Yeah, it's been like 10 years, and I was much younger at the time, and very, like you just said, like they're very influential. It's a very important series, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. I don't think we're ever gonna get episode 3 or Half-Life 3.
It wouldn't surprise me if it didn't, but like I said, I'm holding out hope. I think it's gonna happen one day. One day. I don't know when. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I just feel like, and I don't think they're going to do the typical, like, oh, get hype, episode 3 is coming next year or whatever. I feel like they're just going to put it out.
Just pop it right out. It's like, hey, how you guys doing?
Fuck it. Have episode 3 is out right now, go buy it. I could totally see Valve do it. Valve's crazy enough to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
And Valve is in this weird space where, like, they don't need, like I said, they don't need to make another single-player game. And they know that. And Gabe Newell, earlier this year, he did say, "Oh no, Gabe Newell's like, no, we are still making single player games. We have single player games in development." And it's the same thing with like, there's J.J. Abrams is supposedly making like Half-Life and Portal movies. Oh yeah, those are still coming. I'm like, okay, cool, but like we don't know. It's sort of, there's a huge disconnect between Valve and their fans.
Yeah. And
they don't really seem to care about that. And, on one hand, it's almost like if that contributes to the genius of Valve games, then the sort of isolation of Valve development and not needing the typical like hype cycle of a video game, then fine. But like, don't keep your fans in the dark for 10 fucking years and make force the writer of the entire series to leave Valve. And Eric Wolpaw doesn't work at Valve either, so like, if he left earlier this year or last year or something like that, so even when they make another Portal game, it's not gonna be the same. These writers have been just kind of working in their prison cells at Valve for so long, with no payoff. I mean, imagine that. Imagine being a writer and coming into work every day, working for a company that is not publishing the material you're writing.
Yeah, that's
how fucking
garbage.
Frustrating.
That's garbage.
I can't even imagine being Mark Laidlaw, who, has such a deep connection to this series and these characters, and has this dream for what he imagines episode 3 to be, and who knows if or when it's going to get realized. So that's why he made this epistle. And, who knows what form it's taken. There's some leaked concept art from years ago that seems to reinforce the fact that this was, at least at one time, this was the story of episode 3. At one time, who knows what form it's in now, but at one time, this was where episode 3 was going. Because he mentions like a crashed helicopter in like the Antarctic and stuff.
Okay.
And we have seen leaked concept art going back 5-6 years that show exactly that. So this seems to be totally legit. This seems to be his thoughts on where he would have taken it. And I don't know, just kind of the whole thing just kind of has me. I have a sense of closure, but I also have a sense of just melancholy about the whole thing. And I want Valve to make single player games again. I don't know. Valve is a very unique company, and I feel like they've sort of forgotten that a little bit.
Yeah.
So Valve, if you're listening, make Half-Life. Just do it.
No, they're not going to do it.
Just put it out. Like I said, I had a whole other topic planned. I had to pump the brakes as soon as Mark Laidlaw posted that, and I'm like, fuck that. Fuck anything I was about to talk about. I have to mention this.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to sit down and actually read through this, actually.
It isn't long. It's it's not long, but it's quick read. But some of the ideas that he has in there, and like I said, you should go and read it. I'll link to it in the description. Some of the ideas he has in there are so cool. I would have loved to see some of the ideas in there sort of realized in the video game form. And one of the great design things that Half-Life does is there's no cutscenes in Half-Life. It's all from Gordon Freeman's perspective, and it's all you're experiencing it all through his eyes. It never takes control away from the player. And man, just imagining what some of these set pieces that Laidlaw is describing in this thing in Half-Life, man, that would have been amazing. I want it. I just want to see this story finished. And I think Valve does too, and I do think that it is going to happen one day. I think we are getting it. I think Valve's going to do it, but fuck. Just do it, Valve. I know episode 3 has kind of become a meme at this point. It's kind of been like, waiting on episode 3, but like, don't make us wait anymore. If this should show you how hungry fans are for it. When Mark Laidlaw posted this, his website fucking melted instantly. I couldn't read it for like the first day it was posted. I mean, fans are hungry. We're ready. We need this.
Talking about fans being hungry reminds me of another game.
What's that?
Skate 4.
That was a good one. I like that one. That was a good one. I didn't see that coming. That sums it up right there. If fans are anywhere near as hungry for Half-Life 2 Episode 3 as they are for Skate 4, I'm gonna be real. These people are fucking hungry for Skate 4. I watched watched last E3.
I've been doing this shit as a joke, like since we started it. Started doing a Nerd Bourbon.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep on doing it. But I remember we were watching we were watching. Yeah, we were watching E3. Yeah. And oh my god, just everybody in the chat, Skate 4.
It became a joke. It became a joke by the time you get to like Nintendo and people are like, "Where's Skate 4?"
They're still saying Skate 4. I love it.
And that's kind of the whole joke around it. But man, EA would be stupid if they did not put out Skate 4 at this point. We gotta buy it.
Oh,
I feel like when Skate 4, if and when Skate 4 comes out, I feel like we need to buy a copy for us to play. But I feel like I also want to buy a copy to keep in the shrink wrap to have immortalized, like a copy for the Nerd Bourbon offices, basically.
Beautiful.
Anyway, that's it for me this week. I didn't have anything super deep to go into there. I just wanted to talk about, the Half-Life series is really, really special to me, and it's a special series, and I really hope that Valve sort of remembers why it was so great in the first place. And I kind of hope that this stuff with Mark Laidlaw, if nothing else, has already inspired people to... There's a Half-Life game jam going on right now for people to sort of make, quote-unquote, their versions of Episode 3. And I really hope that all of this kind of taking the headlines by storm right now really puts a boot up Valve's ass, because we need this. I mean, it's time. It is finally time. It's time. Put it out. Half-Life needs to have some sort of a conclusion. Just do it. Anyway, you have any other thoughts before we wrap this bad boy up?
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Cool. So with that, you've been listening to Nerd Bourbon. If you had a good time listening to us idiots, throw us a follow or a sub on whatever service you're listening to us on, be it YouTube, iTunes, Google Play. Just sub to us if you like this and if you want to listen to more. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/nerdbourbon. We are at nerdbourbon on Twitter if you want to follow us there. That's where I post all the episodes every week. It's where we're going to start streaming soon on Twitch. You can follow us there at nerdbourbon. And I'm going to be posting on the Twitter account when we go live with our streams and stuff like that. But beyond that, the best and only way for us to grow is if you tell your friends. Rate us, tell your friends, and that's pretty much it for us. Thanks for listening. Get fucking dunked on. Bye.
See ya, and I hate you.
Hi there, I'm beloved actor and rapper Ludacris. You might know me from those fucking car movies or that one song you like. I want you to know that when I'm racing people in my race car, that I always buckle my seatbelt, and I'd be ludicrous if I didn't. Let's fucking go race some cars. Buckle up. Click it or ticket.